Good morning, Facebook. Hello, Instagram. What's happening, everybody? And hello, YouTube. Good morning. It is Friday morning. It's 7:15 in the morning. A little rainy day today. Wanted to talk about our birthday offers that we used to do at Aroma Time. Used to get these beautiful 9 by 12 postcards. So I want to talk about that, what's happening with those because of COVID. We've changed things up a little bit. So I'm going to talk about that. A few other things. We have a great, amazing wine dinner coming up this Monday, the 19th. Really, really awesome wine dinner. It's our fall favorites. For wines, and it's one dish, $25. The dish will include maitake mushrooms. Maitake mushrooms are a local hen of the woods mushrooms. It's a local foraged mushroom that I've been out foraging. So last wine event 2 weeks ago included those as well. So we're going to include them again. I have lots of them. So good morning, everybody tuning in. If you're tuning in live, it's about 7:18 in the morning on Friday. So if you're tuning in live, just drop a comment, #live. If you're on Instagram, drop a wave or a comment. And I'm going to talk about our birthday offers that we used to do. We used to have this great birthday program, and I'm going to talk about what's going on with that. Just drop a comment. Let me know that you're listening. Drop a comment, #live, where you're tuning in from. That always helps. So thank you, everybody. Sam, Christine, everybody who's tuning in. All right, so got a good morning. My cousin Gina's on. Hi, Gina. So I like doing Facebook Lives this time of the morning, and this is my preferred time to do them because I think the views are better this time of the morning rather versus during the afternoon or lunch or whatever. I find my early morning ones, especially when I do like a 6 o'clock, 6:15, 6:30, those ones really get the views for some reason. So yesterday I posted a premiere video on Facebook, and it went on YouTube as well, and it went on our Twitter, VIP Winery Vacations. Yesterday's premiere video, I got a couple comments. I was not in Italy. I'm not in Italy right now. I'm not in Matera. I'm not touring those caves. That was what we did a year ago. I have tons and tons of video footage of all of our Italian tours in Spain that I'm slowly every day trying to edit a few pieces of these and put them out as content to show everybody all this cool, fun stuff that we do in Italy and Spain. So that's what that is. It was a premiere video. It was me walking around our hotel room in Matera. Matera is a beautiful city in Italy. It's known as Italy's Rock City, Italy's oldest city. It's a 10,000-year-old city that's built up in the mountain. And the really cool thing about it is it's known for its cave dwellers. So they're known for this cave dwellers. There's two, if you go online and do some research, there's two different things you'll find. You'll find out that in Matera, you had people living in caves, like primitively living in caves until after World War II, until the early 50s. I found one place that there were cave dwellers until the early 70s in Matera. And when you go to Matera, that's what this premiere yesterday was on Facebook. It was Jamie and I. It was me walking around the St. Angelo Hotel, which is a beautiful, amazing 5-star hotel that Jamie and I stayed at last year. That's on the side of the mountain, and they've renovated, half their rooms are renovated caves. And in that video, I also do a split screen there where I drop in another video of me touring one of their other non-cave rooms. So if you're coming with us to Italy and we're going to this hotel, St. Angelo in Matera, which is a Puglia, by the way, you could get a cave room or you could get a non-cave room. The non-cave rooms are bigger, okay, because they're built out of the mountain, they're bigger. The cave rooms have to go into the mountain, into the caves, and configure with the actual cave. So you win either way when you stay at this hotel, but it's a really awesome video. You look out, when I show you looking out at the square, the bottom square, and the church up on top, and it's at nighttime, and it's just amazing. The hotel that we stay at borders the state park. The state park is there. That's where I ran into 5 wild boar on my morning run. Was in Matera. If you saw pictures of me post that, the 5 boar that were on the trail, that was Matera, Italy. So the park is right there. Matera is an amazing city. You're only allowed to drive the road once a day to come through, and it's only one road that circles us. I ran around this city. It was only about a 2-mile loop around the whole city, and we're going to Sasa di Matera, which is the medieval, the old part. Above Matera, Sassi, they built the new part of Matera, which there's roads everywhere and this and that. But once you enter into the medieval part, it's really, really amazing. So that's what yesterday's video. So I'm not in Italy right now. I had one person comment, another people saying in the restaurant last night, thought you were in Italy. No, we just did a premiere, and it was some past footage of last year. We have maybe 2 spots left open for Apulia if you wanted to go with us this upcoming April. We do have travel postponement dates for November if you're going to book that trip, just because we have to prepare ourselves. We're supposed to be going next week to Italy, Jamie and I, and doing a tour in Italy, and we had to cancel that. Everybody got their money back this year. Some people decided to defer it and come and postpone it with us and go in April. So that's the story with that. All right, so Monday's wine dinner. Monday's wine dinner is going to be our 4 favorite fall wines. Cabernet Franc, a local Cabernet Franc, which I helped judge this at the Hudson Valley Food and Wine Festival. This got best of show, and myself and the 2 judges at our table, knew this right away. As soon as it was in our glass and we smelled it, we lined this up with 12 other Cabernet Francs, blind tasted it, and all of us, and one of the judges who I've become friends with, Joey, is one of the partners in importing company, Massonoy, and him and I, he very, very, very respectful, very wine knowledgeable. We smelled this and we tasted it. We're like, this is best of show, before we even tasted all the other wines. And sure enough, it passed our round, went to the next round of judging, and took best of show. And this is an amazing Cab Franc. One of our favorite Italian wineries, Malinchini, the Liliano estate, the Medici estate. This estate overlooks Florence. We were there last year. The picture's on the wall here. I have a drone shot of the hotel. It's a 16th century Medici estate villa that's turned into villas that you sleep in. The winery is right there. It's an amazing. Dialetta was here at our restaurant in January visiting, and then we saw Dialetta again in beginning of, or actually end of February in New York City. She was in for the Trebicari Awards. So this is an amazing wine. One of my favorite fall wines, especially to go with turkey, is Lambrusco. A Lambrusco from Emilia-Romagna. Dry Lambrusco, not your typical or known for sweet Lambrusco, dry Lambrusco. We fell in love with Lambruscos many years ago, and then we went to Emilia-Romagna, into Modena and Viola, and drank a lot of really high quality rosés, reds. They're amazing. And this is a really interesting wine, Val de Lopes. This is from Spain. Jamie and I were there 2 years ago. This is near Pinedes. Pinedes is known for their cava production. This is not in Pinedes, but it's near Pinedes. This is south of Barcelona, up in the mountains. And this is made from Zorillo, the grape Zorillo, which is something you will really not find often when you're going to buy a bottle of wine. The grape Zorillo. Zorillo is indeed what makes cava. So this is the equivalent to like a brut, an extra brut, really nice and dry. And the really awesome thing about this wine is we were out in the fields. I posted a video just recently too. It's like this Spanish safari we were on, going in the guy's older, whatever it was, some kind of Jeep. We were driving through the Spanish countryside, going up the mountains on dirt roads and pulling off into the vineyards. And one of his vineyards on one side of the mountain, we're out there and we were picking up, there were thousands of oyster shells everywhere. Everywhere you could see there were oyster shells. He explained that the earth plates hit, they moved up and up brought the ocean into this mountaintop peak. And of course there's oyster shells all over, so that's pretty evident that it was. The other side of the mountain had no oysters, so it wasn't ever seabed. So he makes 2 very distinctive style of wines from the terroir there, just based upon what side of the slope he's on. And on the other side of the slope, he grabbed all these wild herbs. And we went back to his tasting room, and we tasted this wine. We're like, oh wow, this is interesting. What are those flavors in the wine? And he actually grabbed the herbs that he picked while we were out there, and said, smell your wine. We smell the wine, taste it again. He goes, now take these herbs, rub them in your hand, and smell. And I'm like, wow, these are the herbs that are all over the vineyard that actually come out in the wine. It was really, really amazing. Wild fennel was one of them. Wild fennel, wild thyme. All those herbs that are growing on the side of the mountain are like packed into this wine just naturally because of their environment and what they grow next to. It's really, really amazing. So if you like cava, this is a must try. All right, so now to the birthday offers. What is up with those birthday offers that we used to do? So we used to send out these great $14 buy 2 entrees, get $14 off your entrees for your birthday. Well, when COVID hit, we stopped all offers because we weren't sure what was going to happen, right? We stopped all offers. We laid off all of our staff, mostly all of our staff. I kept a couple people on right from day one, but we told people 2 weeks ahead of time when we saw what was happening and going down. We're like, you guys might not be working in next week or the weekend. We're not sure what's going on. This could be a serious thing. So all of you be prepared for your hours to be cut. We're not sure what's happening. People are getting nervous about traveling now. We were in the city. I was in New York City speaking at the International Restaurant Show like the 4th, 5th, and 6th of March. This was 10 days before everything went down. And people were very wary there. They had signs, no shaking hands. They had sanitizers all over the place. So we were kind of realizing, hey, this is where it's going. The show had very little attendance compared to what they normally have. Still a lot of people, but less than what they normally have. Far less, half of what they have. Some vendors didn't show up. Some of the vendors, one of the vendors said, well, the other division, they're not allowing travel right now for our employees, and we're lucky we got out. We're not going to be able to travel anymore after this show. They're putting a travel ban in our company. So we're like, uh-oh, something's going down. So we came back and we said, staff, hey, this is what's happening in New York City right now, and it's probably going to cause us to close in this. So we warned the staff at a time. As a result, we were deemed an essential business, and we were able to keep a couple employees here from the very get-go, and then we got busy, so we brought a lot more employees back. Now, as a result, we stopped taking all of our birthday offers, all of our reward offers. We stopped taking those because we had no idea. And we actually turned that program off. That program costs us to just do those mailings every month, sometimes almost $2,000 to send out 500 postcards and all this stuff. It costs a lot of money. Every time you come in with your membership card and you swipe here, it costs a fee. We pay a fee for that to the company we use for this. So it was very expensive, but it was very worth it for the longest time because it kept bringing people back in, and you have a birthday offer that's a mailing and you bring it back in and it works out well. But COVID hit and we're like, oh my gosh, let's cut out that expense right away. Let's not take offers anymore because we're not sure what's going to happen here. We're even going to be allowed to open. We still have bills to pay, right? So as a result, we haven't taken a single offer since the middle of March. All right. So we're not taking an offer since the middle of March. So now we want to start employing or bringing back a birthday plan. We want to start giving you a birthday offer again. So our intention is to bring back the birthday offer. However, we're probably not going to be using the same program that we were using. I found the capabilities of doing this through a great printing company, customized postcards. We have all of your information. If we don't have your birthday, make sure we have your birthday because we will send you a mailing. So we're now going to be able to mail more mailings for half the cost. So it's going to be great. So we're going to take control of this in the house, and we're going to be sending out mailings. It was just impossible to keep spending $2,000 a month on mailing postcards. We did something 2 weeks ago. I did a video called "Would You Be Mad at Me?" And the "Would You Be Mad at Me" part was if we started making a price differential for credit card versus cash sales. A lot more and more restaurants are going to that. And believe it or not, we pay about $23,000 a year. It's $23,000 and change a year for credit card processing fees. And a lot of people don't understand how much it actually impacts. These credit card fees impact the business. $23,000, we could do a lot with $23,000 a year. I mean, I can pay another employee. I can give employees raises. I can take a regular paycheck. So $23,000 is a lot a year. So I asked, would you be mad at me if we charged different prices? And most of you were for that, but you didn't want to see You didn't want to see an extra charge. You wanted to see a negation if it was cash, and I totally agree. So we could have our credit card processor give us or buy a new machine for $499 that segregates everything, and it would segregate 3.85% out and give a 3.85% discount. So it would charge 3.85% more basically for credit cards. We decided not to go that route, and we're going to try to do it in-house with our POS system, because our POS system can give, point of sale computer, can give a cash discount. And instead of taking 3.85, which is the industry standard, we're only going to do 3% because we're doing it in-house. And I feel that's better. So we're going to give a discount off of the prices if you're going to pay cash. We're not going to start that this weekend. We'll probably start it by next weekend. We got to make sure we're in tune for that and up and going for that, and try it on a slower night. So, but you will start getting a cash discount at some point in the next week or so if you're paying cash versus using a credit card. And hopefully that'll help us offset our credit card fees. Because again, 23,000 and change in credit card fees is a lot. So these birthday offers, we're going to be sending out birthday offers again. We're just not in the rhythm of doing it yet, and we haven't done one round yet, but it will go out again the month before your birthday. It'll be good for your whole birthday month. Somebody's saying, Gina says, plus it affects your server's tips on the card. It can affect server's tips. A lot of people will leave cash for it, for their tips, as opposed to putting it on a credit card. So we're just trying to find, we're trying to find a balance of really running a profitable business through COVID, because as we know, a lot of restaurants are not making it. A ton of restaurants are not making it. Le Bernardin reopened in New York City, Michelin 3-star. They opened, 2 tables came in to eat with them when they reopened. And in that equation, it's not going to make. The Roosevelt Hotel in New York City is closing, or it's already closed. Other restaurants, a lot of restaurants have closed, even here in the Hudson Valley, and chains have closed here in the Hudson Valley. And honestly, once it's cold outside, like our garden was packed last night. Thank goodness we have this garden, because we were packed last night. We did great numbers last night for a Thursday night. But the reality is, next Thursday, if it's raining and cold, nobody's sitting outside. They're coming into the dining room where I can only seat 20 or so people. And that means I'm going to do a third less than I did last night, half as less than I did last night, which is going to kill my sales and kill my revenue numbers, which means if that's the case, I'm going to be in trouble. I mean, this is something that we're not out of the clear yet, the restaurant industry. We're not out of the clear yet at all. We might have had a great summer, but we've had this back garden that's beautiful. And we have patio heaters back there. We have a fire pit. We have a tent. We're going to ride it out as long as we possibly can. We're going to ride out the back. And people are bundling up and coming in. They're bringing blankets or bundling up, and you don't mind sitting outside, which if you don't mind sitting outside, that's fine. But at another point, you have to think, am I going to send my staff outside when it's 40 degrees out? You might be bundled up and you might be fine with a heater out there, but to send staff back and forth, the door constantly opening at 40 degrees, it's not quite that feasible. So we just have to weigh out the balances. But again, having 20 people sitting in here at one time is not going to pay the bills inside this restaurant. So this is why Jamie and I are being extremely progressive and trying to figure out how we can still do things profitably, and where we can actually cut, where we're obviously, our goal is not to cut the quality of food here at all. That's not our goal. In fact, our goal is to always increase the quality of food and make better relationships with our producers and find better products, like the Italian burrata that we just started bringing in. Burrata is an amazing cheese from southern Italy, from Andrea. It's from Apulia, the birthplace of burrata. Most burrata you find in restaurants are domestic burrata produced by Belgioso or some other company, Polly, one of these other companies that makes mozzarella. And it is a significant quality difference, and it's twice the price. So our goal is never to cut quality. Our goal is to use the best products, the most sustainable, most ethical products, and provide the best value we can using those products. So trust me, we will never serve farm salmon here. I made that vow when we first opened. I sent out a press release. It got national coverage, that we will never ever serve farmed salmon in this restaurant. It's always going to be wild salmon, line caught wild salmon specifically, not net caught. Big difference, big price difference too. So we're dedicated to keeping all of our quality and standards up, and even keep improving them if we can. So Jamie and I, when we buy things, so there's 4 different categories why people buy things. People buy things based upon knowledge. They buy things based upon action. They buy things based upon their what's called blueprint, and then they buy things based upon the nurturing category. And Jamie and I are nurturers. We like to know that something's organic, sustainable, makes us feel good, makes the environment feel good. That's how Jamie and I buy things, and those things typically cost more money. Those things are typically higher quality. They have a higher conscience. There's an environmental part of it. There's an organic part of it. There's a feel good, a do good, a healthier part. And that's how Jamie and I buy products here at the restaurant. That's what triggers us to buy things. A lot of other people are like that too. I got a really bad review on Google 2 weeks ago that I haven't responded to yet. Basically saying service was good, food was good, but they tout the organic stuff too much, and I don't want to know that. And they gave us a 2-star review and basically said I'm full of myself and all that kind of stuff. That's what makes us tick. That's what makes us and what makes a lot of other people tick. This person just has to have a different psychological buying method, but they gave us a 2-star review because he has a different psychological buying method. So Lucia is saying hello, hi Lucia. Lucia lives in Brindisi in Italy, in southern Italy, and she is helping us put together our next trip to Apulia. She represents a lot of wineries down there, and the Rosé Coalition down there she represents. So the wine that we pour here, the Pinot Grigio from Canteen Pandora, is one of the wines that she has developed and represented and brings here to the U.S. So Lucia's tuning in from southern Italy. Hello, Lucia. A bunch of other people are on right now, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Here it's early in the morning in New York, in the U.S. It's 7:40 Eastern Standard Time. In Italy, it's 7 hours ahead, I believe. So thanks for tuning in, Lucia. It's going to be very exciting. Lucia's going to be on part of the trip with us. And she is obviously from there, and she's helping pick out some really awesome hotels and helping us make connections and things with some stuff down there. So thank you, Lucia, for all of your help. It's going to be a fantastic trip. I was talking earlier, Lucia, my premiere yesterday of my Facebook video on here was of Matera, of Jamie and I there last year at St. Angelo Hotel, touring the cave, just giving a little tour of the cave hotel room that we were staying in Matera last year. So people confused me for being there now because I put it on as a premiere. I'm not in Italy right now. I'm here in New York, in Ellenville, at the restaurant. So that's what's happening. I would love to be in Italy right now, and we were supposed to be going, but again, that trip's pushed off till April. All right, so back to the birthday offers. At some point soon, you will start getting a birthday offer again. So we just have to figure things out financially, what works the best for us as far as the best offer. We still want to reward you, but it's at a point where, the winter's coming, we're going to have limited seats inside. We are not going to make it on 50% occupancy, 20 people sitting down here, unless we make cuts. And those cuts would be obviously staff, and I don't want to cut staff, but staff would be one thing. Credit card fees, right? That's a huge expense, credit card fees. Another would be these birthday mailings, because these birthday mailings, like I said, the birthday mailings were costing us almost, oh my gosh, every month varied because we did different mailings some months. Some months we did extra mailings. Some months we had more birthdays, right? Some months we'd send out 500 birthdays. Some months we'd send out 700 birthdays. Some months we'd send out 400 birthdays. But it pretty much averaged $1,500, $2,000 a month to send out all these. So between credit cards and birthday mailings, that was almost legitimately $40,000+ of expenses that came. Now, in a restaurant that does less than $1 million, $40,000 is a lot to spend on that. So Jamie and I are just being extremely conscious. We want to still be here and buy the best quality food, and it's easier for us to buy cheaper food. I mean, that's the easiest way for us to save money, to buy cheaper food, because we buy such expensive food that we can literally turn around and save 30-40% right off the bat by just going to Restaurant Depot and buying cheap food. But that's not what we're about. All right, so you'll never see us buy cheaper food. That's our promise, because we're not psychologically set up for that type of purchasing. That's not what makes that's not what makes us tick, right? That's not what makes us tick. That's basically it's not. So you'll never find that here. It's not our DNA. It's not our blueprint for Jamie and I. I would not feel good about buying cheap chicken, cheap salmon. So you'll never have that happen here. So Gina's saying, why not have them show their ID for? We could do that. We absolutely could do that. We've always found it very successful that when people had a mailer in their, postcard in their inbox, in their post office box. Snail mail, old-fashioned snail mail works the best because they hold this and they're like, oh wow, I'm going to go there for my birthday. We found that to be the most effective way to get people in for their birthdays and give an offer. Some restaurants do the bring your birthday in, bring your ID in, this and that, which is fine. We could resort to something like that. We just found it much more effective if you spent the $500 on mailings to get it back and see exactly where. I've talked to many restaurants that have done the ID thing, and you still have to advertise it. You still have to place an ad, put emails out there, whatever you have to do to make sure that people know that you're doing it. So we know your birthdays. If you come into Aroma Time and you fill out our little comment card, we know your birthday. If you go online on our website and that box pops up and you fill it up to subscribe, you have to put your birthday in. We know your birthdays already, so we know who you are. So it's very easy for us to target you based upon that. So for me, it's worth it for me to do the cards inside, the in-house, have this company do them, spend $500 and send out 500 birthday postcards. It's well worth it for us to do that because we'll definitely see a return on it. So we're gonna start with that when we bring it back at first. So that's the story. And what's gonna happen is the offer is not gonna be $14 anymore. It's gonna get lowered because we're gonna actually give it to you on takeout too. We've never done offers on takeout. And the reason why restaurants don't do offers on takeout, typically, at least everybody in my mastermind group in the restaurant industry and in the programs, in our coaching programs, have never done to-go discounts. So once you're sitting in a restaurant, you're going to order 2 drinks. You could never take drinks out before. Now you can. You would order 2 drinks and 1 drink. You'd order extra food. You order extra dessert. It's you're there. Might as well have something else. When you order and take out, it's a one-time transaction and that's it. So people who sit down at a table spend more money per person than people taking out. And that's just an industry standard. This is why a lot of restaurants won't do certain offers for to-go because they're spending more money inside. And that's the name of the game, is give you an offer, get you in the door, and get you to spend as much money as possible so the restaurant wins, right? And this is like this with any kind of marketing, any kind of store or whatever. You come in, they want to see you walk through the store, pick up other things, whether it's a grocery store. Grocery stores every single week put out what they call a loss leader. They'll put something out that they're barely making or not even making any money on. But because the fact that you're walking into the store to pick it up, you have to go down to the deli, you got to go wherever, you're going to see other things and you're going to pick up other things. It's the name of the game with the grocery stores and other businesses is just to get you in the door so then you spend more money. So that's why sometimes offers vary from places for to-go versus dine-in. So that being said, I have some work to do. And I gotta run some errands today. It's gonna be a busy night, we hope, here at the restaurant. Monday night's wine dinner. If it's not nice outside, we will be doing it inside. Obviously that's what it is. We're getting to that time of the year where it's not so nice out certain days. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. We really appreciate all of your support and understanding through COVID. And we had a guy coming in. Quick story. We had a guy come in last night. They called at 5:48. We're busy. We have so many to-goes last night. The garden is packed. There's not a single table left in the garden. They call at 5:48. I tell them it's gonna be a 7 o'clock pickup, and they're upset that they have to wait an hour and 15 minutes for a pickup. I'm like, I'm sorry, we're busy. I mean, if I told you 6:30, I'd be lying to you, right? So 7 o'clock. This is what it is. We have a 7 top in that's ordering a bunch of food. We have the patio, back patios, socially distanced but packed. And he comes in a few minutes after 7, the guy, and one of our servers takes his money, pays, and says, okay, I'll check on your food. And so I show up a couple minutes later, and he starts right in with me. I don't know what's going on here. I've been waiting. I was like, have you been helped? And I knew he was helped. I knew he was already paid. I was like, have you been helped? Well, yeah. I'm like, okay, so what happened? Well, she never came back to me. This is taking too long. I don't understand what's going on. And I said, sir, when you called, I called. I said, sir, when you called, I told you we were very busy, and that's why I pushed you off till 7 o'clock, because I could not have accommodated you. We're very busy. If you want to go take a look at my back garden's packed right now. We're very busy. We're doing takeouts. And he got really nasty with me. And I went into the kitchen, took a deep breath. I said, what's happening with this food? They go, we're plating it up right now. We're plating it up like we'll have it ready in 30 seconds, Marcus. So I came back to him and I said, sir, I'd feel more comfortable if I just give you your money back. Just take your money back and we'll call it a day. No, I can wait. I said, no, sir, you're obviously upset. You're obviously very upset. I'm sorry, we're busy. I want to give you your money back. I just want to call it a day. Let's just call it a day. You leave, your money's back, no harm. No, I'll wait for my food. I was like, well, if you're gonna wait for your food, it's coming right out. So, but just very nasty to me right off the bat. Like didn't even say, like, sir, can you check on my food? I've been waiting a couple of, just right away, right at me. And I'm like, I gotta walk to the kitchen before I really lay into this guy. Like, we're busting our butts here, and in 2 more months when it's cold, another month when it's cold out, our revenue could be so low that we're struggling here. So we just see the things we don't know. But I guess the one point of this is, we're at a point now where if you're ungrateful, don't come in here being ungrateful and demanding things. It's just, everybody's working and doing their best. And believe me, I would have loved to take you a half an hour earlier, your takeout. I would have loved to tell more people to come in for takeout. And I had to turn people away. I couldn't accommodate because I can't overload the kitchen. If I overload the kitchen, then I'm going to piss off everybody. So I could have pissed off 2-3 tables last night, and that could have been 10 people, 12 people, as opposed to, one person. He was upset because I already told him he had to wait an hour and 15 minutes. You can come here at 7 o'clock and pick up your food. And they didn't like that to begin with. So at that point, there really wasn't much that I could have done right, because right from the get-go, they're like, well, we don't want to wait that long. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, that's the soonest I can do it. Really? And so right from the very get-go, it was an issue. So that's why I said, just take your money back. Let me just give you your money back now. And you paid by credit card. If you paid by cash, I would have just gone to the register, pulled the cash out, and said, here's your cash back. But I don't like doing that if they pay by credit card, because then they can fight the credit card later, and then it's hard for me to prove that I gave them cash, and they would win that and then get double the money back from me. But if you had paid by cash, I would have not even said anything. I would just go on the register, taking the money out, put it on the table, and said, here's your money back, sir. This isn't going to be a good deal for either one of us tonight. So have a good night. Ungrateful people just aren't in our plan right now. So we're working our butts off. We're busting our butts to make sure we can do everything properly. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it and appreciate the business. Thanks for dropping comments. I really, really appreciate the comments. Appreciate the support. Goodbye, everyone, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Jamie should be on her live today. She just missed a couple days of lives. Unfortunately, yesterday we were at a funeral, and then Wednesday we were out, and Tuesday we were out as well. So, all right, have a great day, everybody. Talk to you later.